Do you feel better? Do you? Because I'm not sure I do. We're going to talk about this game against the Bengals, where the Chiefs are going, the number 1 seed, like all the things that you want to know about. It's Q&A night for all of you. Welcome to RGR Football. Hey, Mr. Dan Harms, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing better today. I'm still, a little frustrated. I think everyone is. We've all had some time to absorb, and it gets kind of worse as you think about it. But no, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I hope everybody is finding a way to deal with it and cope with it, as we all have.
The sun came up on Monday, folks. Hope you all are doing well. I'm glad that you guys are back. I know.
News to me.
No, it's not something you want to hear about. But tonight is the Q&A. As you can see up top, he's Dan Harms. I'm Ryan Tracy. This is RGR Football, and we get down to the nitty-gritty of it. I'm not going to go off on a rant like I did yesterday. I don't have as much fire. I won't say I don't have any, but I don't have as much. I've been working on some other things today to take my mind off of it. A couple of things that I do want to share with you guys here in a second, because I've got some new projects, some things that I'm excited about. Hopefully you'll see some new content. RGR Media, we're starting a new channel. It's going to be about life and tech reviews and all kinds of stuff about how you kind of do what you're doing. And I'll show you guys a quick glimpse of it here. This is like the new channel. This is going to be different color, same kind of thing. Still me doing some things. It's all color coordinated. But what it's going to do is provide a different thing, totally non-sports. My wife's going to do some stuff on it. My brother will probably do some cooking stuff on it. It's going to be like a family channel for about family life and things that you do. So looking forward to launching that. The preview just went up about 5 minutes ago, and I'm going to launch some actual content on it tomorrow. So if you guys feel like checking that out, please do. It might take your mind off of this ball game a little bit. It helped me the last day. So I had most of it done before then, but I had to work on some graphics. So that's good. Upon further reflection, I just feel like they just let their guard down, similar to what they did, I think, earlier in the season, and just looked past some teams. And at the end of the day, yes, it was not fun to watch. No, it's not good for their morale going into the playoffs. But at the end of the day, they did it to themselves. And as good as Jamar Chase is and was, when they meet them again, should they meet them again, I feel confident that they're going to be able to right the ship. And as long as they pay attention, they don't take things for granted. I think that this team is no worse off today than it was 2 days ago. Are you feeling worse or better than I am, Dan?
No, I don't disagree with that. To me, it reminds me of the first game they played against the Raiders last year, where they had a game plan and they said, if you can beat us doing this, you're going to beat us. And that's exactly what the Bengals did. And they took advantage of it. So, man, I give credit to Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase for what they did. Those are typically low percentage throws. And even up to the point of the game last night, they had been pretty relatively low percentage for even them. But that connection just kind of spiked, and they took advantage of some of the things that the Chiefs corners don't do very well in locating the football, and it worked out for him. So I will hope that Spagnuolo and the staff have a better game plan if they do play the Bengals once again. I think they will. And looking at it as a whole, that game should have been 35 plus to 14. When you look at it, like that's probably what the game should have been around near in the end. Had some things gone the Chiefs' way, not necessarily the Bengals' way, had they played a little bit better in the second half. It really shouldn't have been very close.
Yeah, I can get down with that. I think I called it 31-24 in the pregame show.
Yeah, but
like, I think they would have. I thought they were going to score. I mean, tried not to underestimate them. I tried not to. Clearly, I'm not in the house, but that's the way that it goes. So, folks, bottom line of all this is, sky's not falling.
Yeah,
it's a hiccup.
Sure.
It's a blown tire. You got to take the time to fix it. You got to pay more attention to where you're driving. But in the end, you put the spare on, you're ready to roll. Get to the tire shop. Might as well just upgrade to some 35 mutters and go for it is what I'm saying. But that's okay. We're going to get into your questions, you guys. If you want to support the channel, the super chats super help. That's the easiest way to put them. Oh, shoot. I was supposed to show something else too. Some new designs for you guys in the RGR store. That always helps too. You guys can check those out. This is my favorite one. If it comes up here, like this little, and the home of, you can check that out. It's black and red. One of the new ones in there. And I have some more coming here in the coming weeks. This extra little week off I had from work really paid off for me. So I got a couple of things done. You can tell what my schedule's like most times, guys. So we have some super chats in the queue. So I want to get right to them. But if you don't want to super chat, that's perfectly fine. If you want to support the channel, that's great. If you ask a question at all, though, please, if it's not a super chat, put the question marks at the beginning of it. It'll help me find them and it'll help you be satisfied. Aaron Morrow's in the house, I do believe, as well as the rest of the RGR crew. Stevie, and I'm sure Sean will be here. Gooch will be here. We'll get to them as well. They'll have plenty of colorful comments, I'm sure. FLDB, thank you. We will have a good stream, knock on wood. You're driving. Okay, cool.
I hope you're safe, man. Stay safe.
Yeah, stay safe. I won't scream in the microphone, I promise you.
I'll try not to.
Thank you.
Make no promises.
Thank you for the support as always, buddy. What's the chance of the Chiefs playing the dreaded Monday night wild card game on ESPN? I don't remember them doing a Monday night. Do you?
They do. They have a Monday night football game for the wild card game. So they have them stacked on Sunday and Monday now, which is the same reason they have them stacked on Saturday and Sunday for the week before, so they can put those those teams on Monday Night Football.
Oh, I forgot about a Monday thing. I didn't remember that. I'm actually glad that they flexed them to the Saturday this week, because I'm guessing they're going to be on Saturday in the wild card. If they can't get lucky and Houston can't pull a rabbit out of their hats, I'd rather them be prepared with either a full week or a week and an extra day for the wild card. So I'm kind of digging that for them. But
don't hate
good
it.
Lord, I forgot about Monday night. Like that just puts you in a hole the next week. So yes, let's hope that they don't try to pigeonhole the Chiefs any more than they have at this point. Thank you, Priest. Mac, how are you? Thanks for the support, bud. What's the most concerning part of the loss? The tackle injury, CB's getting beat on the boundary, Spags play calling or lack of adjustments, and the offense stalling in the second half. Man, if you had to rank those, how would you go?
Well, for me, the most concerning part of the loss was the fact that everything that they struggled with earlier in the season at some point or another all came back in this game. The penalties, well, we're not going to talk about the penalties. The defensive play calling, Dan Sorensen finding himself in bad situation again, the missed tackles, the offense just not having enough going on in the second half. All of it came back to bite them in a game where they should have been out in front and really won going away, in my opinion. So it was all of that was concerning. But if I had to rank the biggest thing, it was the game plan. It was the defensive game plan. That was the most concerning part of the loss.
I'm certainly concerned with that. It felt like falling on deaf ears like we've seen them do some in the past. But at the end of the day, for me, the only thing in that list, Mac, that you can't fix today or this coming week is the tackle situation. Let's hope that Orlando gets back. The rest of that is all adjustments that the staff and the players can make. So I'm optimistic that, hey, you got embarrassed. And for all those of you who are like, hey, it was a loss, it wasn't that bad. You're right. It's a 3-point loss to a quality team that will be in the playoffs and would have been regardless. But you should be embarrassed. That was your game to control. You're the big brother, and your little bro just put you on your butt. So let's take it for what it really is. Miss Holly, thank you. I'm glad that you like it. Should be interesting. It's a way to get more people involved than just me that are tired of me doing this solo. So put your money where your mouth is kind of thing for me. It's gonna be fun. So I'm looking forward to it. Thanks for checking it out, Holly. Seth, thank you for the question. It's going to take some time to get over this loss, but in the fourth, we got away from the run to go straight pass. Why? And did Spags never make an adjustment to cover or bracket chase? And that's really the questions. Again, what we heard from Tyrann Mathieu, and I think this was probably while we were on this came out, because I don't think I addressed it last night.
No, I don't think so.
But when Tyrann said, yeah, we were playing for them to try to center the ball, get a few yards, and kick that field goal. That's why we didn't guard him over the top on 3rd and 27. It is a long goal to go, right, to get 27 yards. But that, again, goes to underestimating your foe and not paying attention to the fact that this kid's been catching balls on you all day long. And if anything, if there's one shot that they're going to take at you, it's going to go to him. Mm-hmm. So again, it's just a lack of preparation, a lack of I think, situational awareness. And I think we saw it in the Super Bowl. I think we've seen it in the season. All the adjustments that Dan and I always talk about. We've seen Spags get to most of them, right?
Yeah.
But it's weeks after we get there.
Yeah.
It's weeks after we notice. And they have more and better film analysts watching their film than us. And it still takes them this delay to get things done. Does that concern you going forward?
It's always concerning to me. I think the Spags is a bit stubborn in times, and I think that we've seen that this season in some of the decision-making process. Eventually, like you said, it does get there. It gets done, and whether, Juan Thornhill had to earn their trust, whatever that situation was, eventually it's been corrected. Now he's been the starting free safety, and guess what? Things haven't gone as bad as they did yesterday, but for some reason they decided that it was best to continuously leave Joe Burrow with an option and Jamar Chase in essentially one-on-one situations at multiple times. And the one thing about Joe Burrow is he's always going to find it. He always finds that quick outlet where he's going to go with the ball quickly because he knows his offensive line's garbage. He has to get the ball out quickly, and the only way to do that is to identify the weakness. And he did that time and time again. So it's a little frustrating. I'm just hoping as the postseason gets here, those changes become quicker. That's all you can hope for, man.
I was going to say, I'm going to hold my breath.
That's all you can hope for.
I'm just, that's all I got. I mean, I don't have anything. That's really what it'll take, is it will take something kind of drastic. Yeah. Thank you, Seth. Cole, not Chiefs related. Did you hear about Nate Hobbs? I did not. So somebody fill me in. I don't know if you know, Dan.
He got arrested for a DUI.
Okay.
Corner for the Raiders just got
arrested
for a DUI.
Not something I'm concerned about. Hey, if they make it, good for them. There is a scenario this weekend, folks, where you could have 3 AFC West teams make the playoffs.
Yep.
That certainly is on the table. So,
I mean, I'm not saying I wouldn't want to watch that because I think that'd be funny.
Crazier stuff is happening, right? Yeah, right. Sean, with Niang's injury, do you think that they'll stick Tagovailoa in there or bring back a guy like Rankin? I think he's on the 53. Prince is. I don't think he's going anywhere.
Nope.
I think rather than playing him, they would likely, if Tooney were to stub his toe tomorrow, they'd rather shift Wiley over there and probably put Trey at right tackle and bring in Blythe at guard is my guess. I don't think they have a whole lot of confidence in Wanago. I don't think he's there yet. Now, we haven't seen him since camp, so what do we know, right? Maybe he's turned this corner. He's a miraculous athletic tackle all of a sudden that has no knee issues. I'll croak holding my breath for that one. So
I mean, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that you still have Kyle Long on the roster too. I think you're going to see those guys probably be active on Sunday because at this point you need them to be, especially if Brown's not going to be playing, or it should be Saturday. If Brown's not going to play on Saturday, you have to have both active. You don't have a choice. You don't have any other guys that can play. So you're going to need someone to be able to come in. I think that ideally at left, even though Ryan said it's not the most comfortable thing, that Prince probably would be the go-to guy after that. I don't think Wiley can play left tackle, to be honest with you. And
I don't want him to.
But again, I don't want any of these guys to play left tackle. I didn't want Cooney to play left tackle, but again, here we are with a guy who can legitimately play left tackle at a more than starting caliber position. So it's not a great situation to be in, but hopefully the injury to Brown isn't too costly for them.
I prefer it's Orlando Brown. Knock on wood.
Yeah, me too.
Let's see, Scott. What's the top bantha fodder excuse the Chiefs are making for about this loss that you can dispel? Seems like a lot of fodder flying around. I like the bantha fodder, by the way.
I mean, it's a good reference.
I mean, some of the complaints about the referees are legit.
Yeah,
some of them aren't. They're not. The Chiefs weren't perfect. They certainly committed some things, and like I said yesterday, some of the younger guys went a little bit too far, especially when you realize they're throwing flags like they're dropping peanut shells. Like, it's that simple. So that is part of being a youthful player, and that's part of the coach's job, is to steer them back and say, listen, they're calling it tight. Don't get out of line, that kind of thing. But the big thing for me is that the Chiefs didn't care. I certainly think they care. Like, I've seen several people complaining about that they just packed it in. I think they looked past them, yes. But I don't think it's because they don't care about the outcome or they don't take pride in being on the field. Am I wrong, Dan?
No, that's what I think too. I think that just when you have a loss like that, fans and a lot of people are going to get upset about it, and they're going to look at a lot of different things. For example, I've seen a lot of fire Spags. Like, I don't think that one loss after 8 wins in a row is exactly what the reaction necessary. There was clearly some things in that game that didn't go their way, and that they didn't do very well in execution, being the biggest thing, and that's going to get you beat more times than it doesn't. If you don't execute on Sundays in those games and those high leverage situations, you're going to lose those close games more often than you're going to win them. So, yep, just take a deep breath, everybody. It's going to be okay.
Everybody.
It's going
I
to be
keep
okay.
reminding myself that today too, so it's okay to get there. Johnny, hope you're doing good up there in Seattle.
How's it going, Johnny?
And to all my friends in Bellingham, I hope you're doing well as well. I know a couple of my old high school buddies like, you do YouTube now? What are you doing? You're too old for that. Yeah, well, too bad. I agree. Blaming the losses on the refs is lame, but I'm just saying Dan's rants on that yesterday's fishing might be a cathartic thing this week.
You know, I'm not going to say that I'm not going to do one, but if I do, it's going to be members only, because there's going to be a lot of things need to be said about that one.
Not for work, folks. We will put that behind the paywall for the members. If you want to be one, you can jump in just for the month, and that's fine. There's a button down there under Dan, and you can click in there. You just got to be rookie level or above to get the videos. The draft picks are folks that just want to hang out in the chats. They're not really interested in the extra content. So check that out. And Johnny, thank you for the support as always.
Thank you, Johnny. Appreciate
it. Thank you. Eternal, sorry. I always forget the L part. Has 32 done enough this year to be re-signed? I can't think of a lot of plays he's made, and constantly fighting fans on Twitter. Is it even worth it? I don't know myself. Dan, I'll let you take your shot at it first.
Yeah, I think that Matthew does certain things that you can't have happen. Like, playing the robber is ideally his situation, but if you're going to have teams want to take chances on the outside, like yesterday, for example, he's not going to make a ton of plays because he doesn't play out there. And I think that they did a good job of getting the ball underneath the times too, but they really got decimated down the field, and they don't target Matthew specifically a lot. Like, he's not a guy when they find single coverage, they go at him, or even really in the area. So I'm more of the opinion that he does deserve to be here, but I'm not sure that he's going to be able to get the money that he wants with this year's production. So it's going to be about finding the middle ground in that situation.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I think that's been the negotiation going to this point. I think it's going to intensify a little bit. I will tell you this. I would rather have him back than not. It's about whether they can make it work for the rest of the roster. But I will say this. One thing that I do not factor into that is fighting with fans on Twitter. I couldn't care less.
Yeah, I don't care.
I think it's silly of him to do it in the first place. Social media should be nothing but positivity. Leave your thing and go away. If you're a professional athlete, you shouldn't be on social media. It doesn't help you. It can only hurt you. At the end of the day, your job is to play in the field. So just stay off of it is what I would give advice about. But in that thing, I know that it pisses some fans off. So it's probably more of a negative. But I don't think it's a factor in what comes in the negotiations. I think the throwing of hands, the calling guys out and stuff, that might be more of a factor. Yeah. And I will tell you this, it'll come down to the 53 guys in the locker room. And at the end of the day, if they'll still follow him, if they'll fall down for him, if they'll give their last ounce for him, they'll want him back, as they probably should.
Yeah, I agree.
That's my perspective. Joseph, thank you as always. I may be in the minority, but in large, I thought the defense played pretty good. I don't feel terrible. Okay, I'm glad to hear you say that, because I was disappointed with the missed tackles, particularly at the linebacker level. I was disappointed that the pass rush was up and down, but it was probably the best aspect of it. And I agree with you in that I think we should feel good about the effort that the defensive backfield made. It just wasn't set up correctly. I put it way more on the staff than the players. Do you?
Yeah, that's, like I said, one of the biggest disappointments with this defensive game plan. It felt like they put them in situations that were not it didn't give them an advantage. I wanted to see a little bit more shade. Just shade Juan Thornhill over. Have two deep safeties shade him. Just shade it. You can't get away with that throw if you shade Juan Thornhill to Chase. You can't get away with it because he'll pick it off. So,
and that is enough of a deterrent to make it not be thrown.
That's the thing. It's something so simple that I thought it would have been very easy for them to do.
Yeah.
And
I
that's the
agree.
frustrating part.
And especially when you're in that 27, that particular play, if you do that and Juan's 30 yards deep, he's the threat. Even if they complete a pass short, he can cover the whole field, still get there to stop the first down. You didn't lose anything by trying it.
No,
that's my thing. But I agree with you, Joseph, and thank you for putting the positive aspects out there. I appreciate the vibe, dude. Brian, given a choice between Spags, Fangio, and Zimmer, who do you choose? As just a DC, I just want to make that clear. As just a DC, rank them. Me?
Yeah, you first. I want to see what you think.
Zim, Spags, Fangio.
Okay, Ryan and I have had conversations about this off air, but I'm gonna let you guys in on a little bit. I believe that Spags is a little outdated with some of the stuff that he runs in terms of the way he feels about linebacker or defensive end and corner. So I have some of my own misgivings about positional value when it comes to Spags. I think that what he does schematically can really throw a quarterback off. Like, it can really do a good job, and he does a very good job with that. But for me, this does not have anything to do with the defensive staff. So please, when you're watching this, don't take this in a bad way. These are all great defensive minds, every one of them. I have Fangio, Zimmer, Spags.
Really? Okay.
I do.
Dramatically different. Okay, cool. So yeah, that's how you run a defense, folks. You have to make everybody come together. You got to make it work. And we could spend an entire show, Brian, on going through the whys. Maybe we'll do that another day, but
maybe
right now we got to get into the questions. Yeah, it actually is a great discussion to have. What are the playoff scenarios? Right now is if the Texans can pull off an upset and beat the Titans, they go in as the number one, they have the week off. Unlikely. Yeah. But most likely right now, I think is they're looking at the 2, which means they get the 7, which would be either the Raiders or the Chargers if they both win this weekend.
Yeah, I've got the odds for each of the teams that they could face. The odds for the Chargers are 45.5. Pretty good for them. Indianapolis 27.3, because obviously they can win. And if the Raiders, even if the Raiders do win, I think that the Colts would beat them out in that scenario. Buffalo has 10.6% chance of finishing at the 7. New England's 9.0. So you have a little bit of wish-wash there for Buffalo and New England, depending on who wins the next week. And then Las Vegas has a 5.6% chance, and Pittsburgh still has a 2% chance to be the 7th seed.
Okay. I know Ben doesn't want it, so hey, that's fine.
Yeah, right. I know he doesn't want to play this team again.
So here's the problem: is you now have losses to the number 1 right now and the number 3.
Yep.
And so, you're going to get a common foe that they've seen a number of these teams. It's more than likely they get to see somebody that they've seen before. And if it is the Raiders or the Chargers, third game against them, I'm going to take the Chiefs every time.
I will too.
So knock on wood. Miss Holly, thank you. I hope that I will try to get some of that done up as well. There is a Home of the Chiefs ladies cut already on there. So check out the story, you guys. There's a link down in the description, as well as where is it? It's a bit.ly link.
There it is.
BT.ly RGR store, and those capitals need to be in there or it won't take you there. So just letting you guys know. That said, next we are going to get on to Justin's. Nope, that was Justin's question we just answered. Sorry, Justin. Jace, no word on Brown specifically. They normally would be off tomorrow, but with the flex, I have a feeling they're going to be in tomorrow. So we might get a little bit of news. I haven't gotten a press release about an actual presser for tomorrow. I'll let you guys know if I do. I think for all those people that were frustrated with the money they spent on Joe too, and I think this game justified it. Beyond that, Joe still is at a disadvantage in terms of arm length against speed rushers in particular. So I don't want him to be out there unless he absolutely has to. So the hope is that Brown's back. And he can, if they have to go Tooney, what do you think, Dan?
I think he'll be okay. I think we've seen he's got the correct footwork. He has the hand placement. And when you don't have that advantage with the long arms, you have to be able to time and place your hands properly and keep your feet under you. I saw that all day against one of the better effort pass rushers in the NFL. He has 14.5 sacks. I forgot his name. I know him. I just can't think of his name.
For whom?
The Bengals. Their pass rush. The only guy that, see, you're doing it too. You're blanking.
Yeah, I'm doing it too now. Dang it.
So, And so yeah, he did a really good job. I think he can handle the speed because of the footwork. He's got the proper athleticism as well. So I'm okay with it. It's not ideal, but I think you can get by.
Okay. That's kind of how I feel too. It is going to be matchup dependent. And
Yep.
you guys, I see a ton of questions about what they should do in the draft. I'm not going to get into those tonight because there's so many other questions. We will spend all that time on there, but
Yeah. Thank you guys, Michael. Thank you, Michael. It's Hendrickson.
there, yeah, Trey, yeah,
Trey Hendrickson.
And literally, I just said his name like 20 times last night.
I know, right?
on all
I've been
those
talking
shows,
about him
so,
all week too, like the only
yeah.
pass rusher they have, and then just
As my wife likes to tell me, it's tough getting old. She's not very kind about it though, because she's really only pointing at me rather than us. So yeah. Anyway, Mitch Schwartz said he's ready. Brian, I think he was joking. I saw that
he was joking.
I saw that tweet too about the plane and the stuff in the business. He's way thin and light. He could play tight end better than he could play tackle right now, is my guess. Just in terms of having enough girth to anchor. So
yeah.
If he's able to rebuild himself, if his rehab continues, I could see him making a return, but I do think it's a long shot. And everything I see from him otherwise looks like he's preparing to do something else as well.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, I'm going to switch batteries. So were you talking about what Robert's talking about?
Thank you for the question, Robert. Thoughts on whether Andy wanted to keep things close to the vest because he knew they were going to meet in the playoffs, not going out on the run will pay dividends next time. So I don't necessarily think so. I think the chances of them even meeting them in the playoffs are a little slim, and they actually could have tried to bump them out of the playoffs if they won, and the Browns won the next day or the next week. So I think just going out and handling your business, you can knock a team out of the playoffs in that kind of scenario. And then in a winner-take-all situation, you never know what can actually happen. So I don't think they were really keeping it close because in the second half, they got 3 possessions because the defense continuously was on the field for the majority of the second half. So I don't necessarily understand some of the execution issues that they had. And then you had one of the holding penalties really knocked their momentum down and they just started to lose everything they had. So it was a little frustrating on the offensive side to see that, but I don't think Andy was playing it too close.
Okay. Andy. If EB gets taken, do we bring back Nagy? Thank you, PK, and for the support as well.
Appreciate it.
I would be open to it. I don't know if Andy is. What do you think?
I don't think Andy wants to bring him back. I think he wants to see Mike Kafka get a chance. To me, Andy doesn't seem like a guy who wants to bring guys back. I think maybe Doug Peterson would be someone that would be on his list at a last resort. Say they lose both EB and Mike Kafka. Then you're like, okay, well, then I have to do some differences. But I think Andy wants the next guy. He wants fresh ideas, and that's something that Mike Kafka can bring to the table.
I agree. I will tell you this, though. If EB gets a head coaching job, I'd hire Nagy in a heartbeat. I'd like to see the two of them work together because I think Nagy's in over his head as a head coach. I think he can still be a quality offensive coordinator. And I think
I do too.
EB's like that, Mantlehead, the guy in charge, the motivator, that kind of thing. Like, I feel like that could be a pretty good pairing.
Yeah, I think that if you let EB be the coach and not the offensive coordinator and coach, you're going to find some success.
Yeah, I'm with you. Scott, okay, got that one. Sorry, I had to highlight it twice. Sorry. Patrick, is it me or does Tyron look like he's giving up a bit on his gameplay? I will say this, especially third quarter. There were several times when I doubted if anybody on the defense wanted to actually tackle anybody.
Yeah, that was very apparent. It looked like they were just like, I'm tired. They just looked tired.
Either tired or looking past it. Like, I'm not going to get myself hurt now when we're playing a playoff game possibly in 2 weeks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, some of it is a business decision. Just doesn't look very good. So, I don't know. Thanks, Patrick. YJ, looking for the future, keep the second seed and Chargers win on Sunday. That means that they are the 7th. So it could be the third part. Yes. Are you comfortable playing the Chargers in the first round? Absolutely.
For sure.
Especially as it will be at home. So at this point, now my battery's dying again. So I'm going to switch again. But so at this point, if it were like going to LA again, maybe I wouldn't be as so confident. But particularly in the cold, I'll take it every time.
Yeah, I'm right with you there.
All right, you take Lucas's then.
All right. Thank you, Lucas, for the question. Do you think they will keep playing Tooney and Allegretti on the left side if Orlando can't go? I do think so. I think that's exactly what you're going to see. And I'm going to get more into this as the week progresses. I think that the offensive line really shows you that their not only competence, but their depth when it's being tested right now is actually going to pay some dividends for them if they can get healthy. I know we've talked if Mike Remmers comes back off the IR, which I'm not totally confident in that happening. So they lose Mike Remmers, they lose Lucas Niang. Those are two of your right tackles. So you're going to have Andrew Wiley and then possibly Kyle Long and Prince Teo Winogo as your three guys out there. You have to hope you get no more injuries. But I do think that Tooney at left tackle and Allegretti at left guard is going to be the guys that come forth out of this whole situation if Orlando Brown can't play. And since Ryan's still gone, I'm going to have to rift here a little bit. And since you guys are...
This is perfect. Thank you, Red. I had a little mess up here with PFF today. So Dan, would you tell us how many pressures they recorded for us?
I see 22 total pressures across the
on
board.
Burrow.
Yes.
Okay, that's better than I expected. I was thinking in the higher teens.
Yeah, no, they got Melvin Ingram had 4, Jones had 6, Ben Neiman had 2, Mike Dana had 2, Jaron Reed had 2. Morton had 1. Fenton 1. Okafor 1. Clark 2. Matthew 1.
Okay. That's actually pretty good. Right? Yeah, you were prepared, and I appreciate that. And again, we talked about it pregame, you guys. Like the key was getting the ball out, and he did.
Yeah.
The circus catches, the amazing body control with guys in coverage on him was what stood out from what Chase did.
Mm-hmm.
Can he replicate that? We'll find out. I still stand by. If he can make that happen against any other team, and it's not just the Chiefs underestimating him or maybe a bad matchup against Ward, if he does that again, I will put him in the top 3 of the wide receivers in the league. And I won't be bashful about it. Maybe I'll be jumping the gun. That's okay. But it's about replication at this point because now we've seen the height.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I didn't think he'd get there till next year, at least. Like with the year off and all that stuff.
I was pretty
take a while longer.
I was pretty comfortable.
Well done. Nick, what position do you guys think we should focus on in the draft? Again, we're not going to get too deep into this, but if you just had to pick one, what would you do?
Linebacker still? Well, really, in this offseason, it's going to be edge. Like, I think that's the one position that they need more than anything because they're not going to have anybody next year. I don't think we're going to see Frank Clark back, and I don't want to play Chris Jones at edge. So, yeah, they need more edge, and they need more talent and versatility at edge. Versatility. It's important in the NFL nowadays.
Can I have an athlete, please?
Please give me an athlete.
For anyone who's here, 400 on a Monday night after a loss, that's pretty good, folks. You are the faithful, and I appreciate you.
Appreciate you guys.
If you don't know me now, the athleticism on the edge is one of like the first things that I do every year. You'll want to check out the draft guide. And that's honestly what they're missing is that spark. I mean, when Melvin Ingram, a guy who's been in the league 8 years, shows up and all of a sudden your front is more athletic, that's a problem.
Yep.
That tells you what you need to know. So, sorry, the school district's calling me here. Something must be going on because we go back to school on Wednesday.
Oh, man.
We'll talk about that another day. Miss Holly, thank you for the support. Again, as always, after last night as well, thank you. Because the Chiefs scored 28 in the first half and only 3 in the second. Looked like 2 different offenses. Focus. In both the play calling. I don't know what that was. You're going to have to explain it.
Taking your foot off the pedal.
Oh, yeah.
They just stopped attacking.
Loss of focus. Yeah, exactly. Didn't attack. Lost focus. The players as well. Mahomes as well. I mean, Mahomes had 2 plays that could have gone for interceptions yesterday.
Yeah.
We have to remember that. And I think it was just like, hey, if they were going to give us a race, it was going to be in the first half. We got this at this point, and it just felt like they deflated, and they did not have the intensity and the focus they needed.
No. Yeah, and every time, like you had some run plays that worked out really well, and as soon as they hit a snag, they went off of it. Or that when they got into that red zone on that field goal drive, they went run, and then on first down they threw it 3 straight times. That's not going to do it for you if you guys want to win games that close. You have to still be able to run the ball. When teams are expecting you to run the ball, you have to be able to run the ball.
Yep.
And they didn't do it.
It all comes down to it. I mean, and it doesn't have to be huge gains. No, it has to be 3 to 4 yards to carry, and you're okay. You have to get comfortable with that. And with all the like fourth down shenanigans we've seen across the league this year, you have to be comfortable with, if I'm running and it's hard yardage and I only get to, 4th and 1, I got to be comfortable going for that at this point. With the rate that teams are going for it against you.
Yes.
Oh, you got to pick that up. Jarrell, thank you very much. Appreciate you. Which team is your preference to play in the wild card round? The Raiders.
I was about to say the preference is the Raiders. Like, give me the Raiders all day. They put 40 on them. I would be okay playing the Steelers too. Both of those teams don't scare me in the slightest.
Sorry to chuckle there, Pittsburgh fans. Wait, there are none of you. Never mind. Tatum, how are you? Do you think the Chiefs have a bigger, more explosive running back in the 3rd or 4th round? They could. I don't think they will. I think they have too many fish to fry. Like Dan said, they need edge. They only have one safety on the roster for next year right now, if you don't count Zane Anderson. They need safety. They're going to have to backfill Charvarius Ward, who I think will get a contract from someone else. They have better depth at corner than anywhere else on the defense. You also shouldn't have Hitch. You might not have Neiman. You might need a third linebacker out there as well. So, like, the defensive overhaul is by no means done. There's plenty of stuff to do it. So, I would rather see a UDFA.
I think you're going to see 7th round pick, because I think they have 2 or 3 7 rounds.
3 of them right now.
Right now, and you're going to see some UDFAs. You're going to look for speed and athleticism. That's what they're going to do. I really believe it.
Yeah. Because you can see now, especially with the power run, you can see that they're getting gaps. When Daryl's running, at one point yesterday, he had an 8-yard per carry average. Daryl did. And I know how you guys know that I've been the faithful, and not everybody has. You get a guy that has a true, like, 4th gear. I mean, it doesn't even have to be as fast as Jamal Charles. Just a guy with a 4th gear, those are 30-yard plays at that point. I'll take that all day long. Dylan, this is one of the games among many others where it seemed like Matthew had no impact. And on our good wins, it feels like Matthew is not doing anything impactful. Does he have a future in KC? I understand where you're coming with. Dan mentioned the production, but what's your opinion, Dan, on what he does for the rest of the secondary in particular?
The reason you don't see Matthew be impactful is because of what he does for everybody else. He opens up. He's one of the most selfish players in the defense, because what he does is play that robber so well, or he'll play wherever he has to, but he takes things away, and quarterbacks typically don't challenge him. Some of them will, but he takes things away and forces the play to go elsewhere. So a lot of what you don't see that doesn't still show up in the stat sheet is why he's here in the first place, and it's why he still has a chance to be here after this year.
And give credit to the guy everybody says is the GOAT. I do not, for the record. Tom Brady has Matthew's number. Tom Brady understands Matthew.
Knows exactly what he's doing.
So that is still the worst matchup for the Chiefs in this playoff run. I don't care how down the Bucs are that they have this psychopath they just had to throw off of their roster. Yeah. None of that. It still is the quarterback manipulating a safety. I thought they had, but I don't know.
He was not on the cut transaction list today.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Come on, Bruce. BA, show me your spine, buddy. I'm on board with a members only Dan's rant. Well, Holly, I think he just might get one.
I think we're gonna get one.
If we turn him loose, dude, we just gotta wind him up. He'll go. It's fine. Do you re-sign Daryl? He's been too reliable to let him go. Pie Dessert, I agree with you. I would bring him back.
Yep, he'll be here next year, and probably for the years to come.
Hopefully. Jaden, thank you, sir, for the support. The Titans have the 1 seed. How much do they scare you? Well, they said today they might get Henry back.
Yeah.
They got AJ back. I don't know about Julio. You can cross your fingers, and I'm not so sure. No. But they've shown that they can stop Derrick Henry when they have to. The question is going to be, can Tannehill get hot with one of the receivers enough to try and do what Chase did? AJ's a tough tackle, even for Fenton, even for Thornhill. AJ's scary. He's got good acceleration. He's no Jamar Chase. He's just not that kind of athlete. But he can hurt you a lot. It is a significant worry for me.
If they get healthy, their offensive line, they get more guys back on their defense, they will have a flicker. There'll be a flicker. Okay, it was one of those things, because I think that we've seen obviously multiple times now, Henry can be stopped from Nick Bolton. Go tackle him. Okay, basically what they did, and they shut him down. And then AJ Brown with the play action passes killed them in the first game this year. I don't think that they would let that happen again. My own personal belief, and I don't think that Westbrook Akina and Chester Rogers are going to be able to beat them And I don't think Tannehill's good enough to do it if you take away one guy. What
Yeah.
defenses refuse to do is take away A.J. Brown. It baffles me.
See, and that's with the earlier question. That's why I know Zim will double guys. I know Zim will take and try to do the Belichick thing and take somebody away. He just has faith in players that don't actually have the capability anymore. So I question that.
Very good.
Again, Mike Zimmer is a guy just like Rex Ryan to me. Uber good defensive coordinators shouldn't be head coaches any longer.
No. Yep.
Leon, can they move Mike Hughes or Baker to safety? I'm sure they'll be better than Sorensen. They can't move Hughes to safety. He's too small. He's too light. He can't play Sorensen's role. Could he possibly try to play Matthews' role? Possibly. But he's better man than he is in zone. And if you're playing safety, you're basically a zone DB. I don't think they can do it. Baker's intriguing, but I haven't seen enough of him to know. Do you have an opinion on that, Dan?
I have no opinion on that, on either of those guys. I know that Hughes can't play, really shouldn't play safety. He's just too light unless you're going to let him play free. And that's just, that's a scary thought for me. Baker, we don't even know what it looks like. I've seen him in one-on-one coverages against some guys. That's not very good, but I know that they don't care. I want to put Watts in Sorensen's role. I want to do it. I think he can more than do it, and he can bring what Sorensen used to be able to bring. He has a nose for the football. Okay. Mm-hmm. He's younger, faster, and more athletic than Sorensen now. In my opinion, he's almost like a younger Sorensen in terms of where he's always around the ball. He just finds it.
Yeah, he does. He's less stout against the run, though, than even Dan is. And Dan gets
for sure. But
so he can't play that same box role. I know.
I was
he had a knack in college for finding the ball in the air.
Yeah.
Sorry, I think I'm fading here. I might be behind you now. Sorry for the delays. Hydra, thank you. Just now joining, missed the game yesterday. The refs really as bad as everyone said. They're pretty bad. There were some very iffy calls, particularly in key situations.
Was one of the worst officiated games I've ever seen.
And come to find out that 4 of the Chiefs' crew were replaced that morning.
Yep.
And here's the problem. You can say I think the NFL's likely hiding some kind of COVID outbreak, whatever. They had to swap out all these guys. Okay, fine.
Something happened, yeah.
But they put people in roles they don't normally do. They had a line judge become the back judge, back and forth. Mm-hmm. Guys, girls. I don't even know who the crew was. I don't care at this point. They were reffing out of position. That's nearly as bad as playing out of position because you don't recognize and you call things that aren't there.
It was disgusting.
Seth, hello, gentlemen. Appreciate it. That loss is painful. 3rd and 72, no help. Yes, you're absolutely right.
It could have been 3rd and 72, and it wouldn't have mattered.
Exactly right. So thank you for the support, Seth, and I hope this eases by tomorrow. We'll try to help it get along. Southern Bell, thank you. You think the Chiefs learned from anything from yesterday's thud earth? You got to hope so.
No.
You got to hope some pride stung. You got to hope that Tyron and Spags are in the back of that plane going, how did we let this happen? But
that's all you got.
I don't know. I'll tell you this. Andy Reid was probably the most angry that I've seen him in a non-playoff game.
If I had to guess right now, this is Monday, the Chiefs are going to absolutely destroy the Broncos on Saturday.
I hope so.
I think that they are going to put up a number. I really think so.
Yeah. Some of the big plays I felt like defense gave up too early. Agree. How do y'all feel about the effort? Again, first half good, second half iffy. Tackling was iffy all day long. After seeing Utah get an effort touchdown, I didn't see any kind of effort-wise from us. I will tell you this. 2 things stand out to me when I watch college film. College kids do not pursue from the backside. They quit on plays way too often. NFL guys do not pursue as much as they need to on the front side. There's less and less aggressive play in the NFL, especially this point in the year with the extra game and all this stuff.
Yeah.
You see less aggressive linebackers. You see less aggressive box safeties. Like it's the flavor of the game, to tell you the truth. The NFL, the professionals versus the college guys. I don't know. I like Utah. I think they have some interesting players. I was big on Jalen Johnson a couple of years ago, and he came out and he's become a nice player. And I like that kind of effort, Pi. I'm glad you watched them because you might see one of them in a Chiefs uniform. Southern Met, are you going to make a youth size? I can try to do that. I didn't have that option. I just had men's and women's when I set it up the other day. I will try to find that out, though. If you guys are interested in kids' shirts and stuff, I will try to get that done. My girls will be happy as well. Mac, thank you. I will say that Tooney did a much better job at LT than I thought he would. Definitely justified the money, and I think if OBJ and Remmers get back, we'll be all right.
I wouldn't hold your breath on Remmers.
I know. Oh man, that would make me feel a lot better though.
Yeah, it would me too. Like he was off the COVID list today, but I don't expect him to be back this year. Actually,
man, if he could even get to the point where he can function as a backup, I would just feel like they have a safety net at least.
Yeah,
but I don't know. Good points, Mac. And thanks for this.
Appreciate it, man.
Info, should Casey pick up AB? Just joking. Good, because you were about to see me blow my top. I was
about to say, Info, you almost started something. I'm not sure we can finish.
I mean, you can't fit him in the locker room anyway. There's no room for his head.
No.
Doug, do you think what will happen with the lineman Blythe from the Rams? I cannot find him on the roster. Blythe is there. There's no I in his name, so it might just be a spelling thing. Blythe is there. He got one snap on offense against the Bengals.
Yeah.
An additional 5 on special teams. So I think they're starting to warm him up a little bit. They were out of bodies at that point, so he had
didn't have a choice. They did not have a choice.
But he is an interior only. He cannot play tackle. So he would only be inserted if you had to move guys out. Tooney goes down, Wiley goes down, you're moving guys out.
Just stop, please.
Yeah,
don't bring it up.
Like if that happens, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
It's slant, run. Can we get the pitch game? Can we get the counter game going again, Andy? For the love of God. Oh, man. We broke 400. Thank you, Aaron. Woo! If you guys would share and sub and hit the bell and all those good things, that would be great. Especially now. When we're down, when the team's down, the channel's down. A lot of folks that want to be Chiefs fans.
Very true.
They want to see the winning. So if you guys spread the word when we are down, then we'll know who the real fans are. That certainly helps. And if you would check out Locked On Chiefs, that would be great. I also do the Locked On NFL Draft. You now saw my other channel tonight. I do the beer channel. Like there's too much going on. So I got to get people to help me. Like Dan. See, I need help.
Trying, man.
Why does Spags always showcase what Watson and DOD can do and then start the worst players over them like Neiman and Swartz?
Trust.
I will tell you this, though. DOD cannot play in the run game. Neiman is better in the run game. So if it's not a 3rd and long, you got to go Neiman over DOD. I hate to justify him, but it is what it is. Aaron Morrow for MVP. I can get behind that. Mod Father for MVP, folks.
Let's do it.
Take this one. I'm going to find some more.
Thank you for the question, Jaden. Should the run game be more 40 and 31 and 25? So I know we talk a lot about Clyde and the issues that seem to stem from his usage. It does bother me. If you look at the splits, Darrell has been more productive in his starts than Clyde has, and I don't really understand what's going on. I think that they use Darrell more like the way they should use Clyde. I don't really see them use this wide outside zone with Darrell Williams, but they use it with Clyde. That bothers me because all of these run plays that you see him missing the cutback lanes are because his shoulders are turned to the sideline. So how do you expect him to change his entire general direction going this way over this way without causing 3 seconds of having him to get back to that direction? It's a bad schematic problem. And when they're running downhill, they're running more power and they're running more pulls and counters and things like traps like that. Clyde is a better, more efficient running back than any of these guys is, but they don't do it enough. So
it's okay.
Thank you for the question, but I just can't understand the usage. But when they have Darrell and Gore in there, they do more power run games, more inside zone concepts, things that they're good at. They don't do it with Clyde. They force him to be something that he's not. And that's the biggest issue with the reason that every time that Clyde comes out and these guys come in, everyone talks about them being better than him. That's the reason, the usage of the running back.
I can't argue. It's okay. It's going to be all right.
Just going to throw something.
At least I'm not screaming about them not even using them anymore. So
yeah.
there's some stuff there. Jaden, thank you again for another one. You're the man tonight.
Yeah, man,
Have
thank
looked
you
at
so
Cook.
much.
We mentioned him a couple weeks ago. I wanted to say he's Dalvin's little brother. He's been on my radar for quite a while.
Man,
I think he's going to be an early day 3. He might even sneak in the 3rd round. So I don't think he's going to be on the Chiefs' radar.
I just can't take a 23-year-old running back out of college. I won't. I refuse to draft that man because he has not been drafted. He's 23 years old. Like,
you take him. You take him as a UDFA in a heartbeat, though, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I always take shots on those guys as UDFAs. I wouldn't draft them though.
I don't mind a late round draft choice because he's
like
he's going to be a 1 contract back for me no matter what.
No matter what.
So, like, I could see a low investment in him, but I think other teams will just ignore that and go for it anyway. Gary, how are you? Good to see you. How do you feel the Chiefs will do against the Tennessee Titans? I think it'll be a slugfest, and as long as they don't underestimate the team that they're facing, which I feel like this staff will have for a playoff game, that shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah.
I feel like they'll be able to slow Henry enough. Nobody will stop him. The question will be, who gets loose? Is AJ going to get in and have a chase day? Are they going to take him away enough that, like, whoever the third is, or that tight end Ferkser or whatever, the guy who's always getting little plays that make big impacts on games?
Yeah, Anthony Ferkser.
There's going to be something, and that's what it's going to come down to, Gary. As long as they can corral Henry and not let AJ like destroy them, they'll be all right. Do you think not technically is less about being tired than being fed up with getting flagged for breathing? No, I don't think it has anything to do with it, because they can be, if anything, it would fuel them more to just go hit somebody because they're frustrated, to tell you the truth, Guts.
Nice.
I think you'd see more release of anger from that.
Yeah, for sure.
Tim, thank you for the support. Appreciate you. Does size matter at wide receiver? Because we don't have size. Yeah. I mean, you got Marcus Kemp. You got Josh Gordon, who made a catch yesterday.
Yeah, for like what was it, 1 yard? I think
4 yards or something like that.
Yeah, you need size and athleticism at the wide receiver position, specifically for this team, because what you saw with Chase yesterday, the Chiefs will never ever do, and it bothers the absolute crap out of me. You see Aaron Rodgers do it all the time. Just say, my guy's better than yours. I'm going to drop it over his head, make my wide receiver make a play because I trust them to do that. Andy Reid will not let that happen for whatever reason. No. He doesn't trust his receivers to do that. He would rather scheme them open. So, okay, so I've got like 3 topics I'm going to rant about tomorrow.
You're just making notes back there.
Just making notes over here, guys.
But Flapjack, you're right. Size does matter at times, because especially if you are going to utilize that kind of passing, you have to have size. Good thing is, this is a great draft for athletic big receivers.
Yeah,
if you guys missed Tillman's performance for Oklahoma State the other day, you should go enjoy that, because he's likely to be a 3rd round guy that could walk in here and actually give you reps. Gooch made the chat. We're all in trouble now.
Here we go.
It's all over but the shouting. All right. Thank you. Appreciate you, Flapjack. Eric, run Gore. Yeah, I agree with you. Like I said earlier, like, I'd like to see it be a little bit more even, just to keep everybody fresh as well.
Yeah.
For crying out loud, why is Sorensen on the field? It's not a problem that he's on the field, Rick. It's that they're asking him to do, again, what I've been saying for 4 years, they shouldn't be doing in playing deep safety.
Yep.
Because A, he bites, and B, even if he doesn't bite, if he's slightly out of position, he doesn't have the speed anymore to make up for it.
Yep.
Put him in the box, let him attack, blitz him, all that I'm fine with.
Yep.
He can cover flats.
He can just be manipulated too easily.
Yeah. It happens. Drink on me for 49 again. Nice.
Appreciate it.
I like it. Josh, how are you? Hope you're doing well. You guys check out Josh's channel as well. Do you think this kind of gut punch loss right before the playoffs is the Titans lost in 19 right before the playoffs and never lost again? I draw the parallels. Yeah, I said the same thing last night. Like, I hope that they can do that and take it forward, just like the Bucs did when the Chiefs beat them last year in the regular season. Take it forward.
There's not enough time. You know what I mean? This is a turn. It's a quick turnaround to get back into playoff mode after a loss like that. I'm just hoping they use the anger and like the way that they felt after this loss. I hope they can hold on to that, harness it for the playoff run. Maybe it gives them an extra game because they might have to actually do it. Use that anger to really help fuel the playoff run instead of having to get momentum for 6-7 games that they would have needed earlier.
Yeah, knock on wood. Voodoo, good question. Why never try Snead on Chase if they weren't going to double? I think honestly, they didn't feel that they could compensate well enough, is my thought.
No.
Because you saw that Chase was going to one side. He was trying to get on Ward. They were trying to put that matchup together. You move Snead out there, Ward can't play inside. And even if you do move him, now he's playing opposite. And he has traveled a little bit this year. I've been very happy with that aspect of it.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're comfortable with him on the other side, to tell you the truth. And then if you did that, you'd be moving all three of your corners in a rotation because you would have to put Fenton into the nickel. So I think that's just a lot of change. I don't think they're comfortable with change. So I would have done that. I would have stuck him on Chase all day. I guarantee you, even if he played every snap against Chase, Chase doesn't have 200 plus yards on Snead.
No, I agree with that.
Miss Holly, thank you again. Andy said he wanted to comment on the bad calls, but he doesn't want to get fined. Why don't we start a collection to pay his fines? I'm down.
Yeah, me too.
I am down.
I'd love to hear it.
Oh man, if I can ever get Coach on this show, whether it's while he's coaching or after retirement, I will get him to talk about that. I guarantee you. And I'm sure he will have it hot in his memory. Thank you, Miss Holly.
Appreciate it.
Gooch is here. Thank you,
Woo!
buddy. Time to grow the legacy of Mahomes. 3 road playoff games for the Super Bowl and make it up for pooping the bed on Sunday. You know, Spags had that one-on-one with Andy, and it was not pleasant. I certainly hope it wasn't.
That's a great point. I really hope so.
I'm a little concerned it wasn't fire and brimstone. I'm a little concerned. There's a comfort level, there's a friendship level there that the fire was not hot enough. That's my worry.
That was Andy looked the maddest I've ever seen Andy Reid ever as a Chiefs coach at that press conference yesterday. I think is enough, combined with everything that happened with the refereeing and the penalties in the game, could be enough to get that fire under him to say, look, you can't be doing this stuff when we're trying to go to 3 straight Super Bowls. You can't.
Come on, Spags.
It's great. It's great.
Okay. I saw something that didn't look like it was complete, but I'm going to roll through it anyway. But thank you, Gooch. As always, I know you have another one there. Josh, we'll have to link back up soon. Absolutely. Good to see you too, Josh. Bill, thank you. To use a baseball analogy, it seemed like the Bengals and the Chiefs were working on 2 different strike zones. Have you ever seen a more lopsided officiating? It was pretty lopsided. I will give you that. But I will also say, and repeat what I said last night, that crew wanted to call fouls on the defense. What did we get? 2 false starts all day long?
Yeah, there was so many. There was
1 holding penalty, period.
Yeah.
Like, that crew didn't want to call the offenses at all, and that just drives me insane. To the point, if you guys missed Locked On Chiefs, go back and watch that from yesterday, because afterward, Matt's like, do you need a Valium or something? Can you chill out? I was like, well, makes me mad. Call it both ways. Oh, Marshall, thank you, sir. Good to see you. Good looking fish too. I can't blame the offense on this one. Defense had too many opportunities to get off the field and allowed too many points and let the clock run. The Bengals, 1 wide receiver set was effective at stopping the blitz. It was effective, but at the same time, you can't go an entire half without scoring one field goal.
Yeah.
They dropped the ball too.
3 possessions, but
1 stop or 1 more score, you win that ball game.
Yep. That's all it takes.
I appreciate your stance, though, Marshall, and very much appreciate the support. You've been here a long time, buddy. Hawkster, how much was missing the first round bye affect the Super Bowl run? I'd have to look at the history and stuff.
I think it's going to change because there's not 2 byes anymore. There's 1 bye. I think that the stats and the way that teams used to need the bye to win the Super Bowl, I think that's going to change. You're going to get some hotter teams, no matter who it is now, because you have only 1 bye, that are going to knock that team out. So I think that the stats are going to change on that going forward.
I hope so. I really hope so. We're going to find out.
Yep.
Seth, is there any true advantage of RPO over power run? Absolutely. The RPOs like freeze the defense.
Yeah.
And if you show them power run enough and then you RPO, it opens up, especially that middle section on the crossers, and lets you get your intermediate game going. So yeah, there's definitely an advantage, Seth. It's about how you go about it too. If you call too many and the quarterback just goes one direction because he wants to throw the ball, Patrick in early season,
Boom, 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 boom.
It's a problem that way as well. Gooch, can we please teach Hill to catch with his hands and drop the return specialist catch from the body? It's costing us and him, and I'm worried it happens in the game with more importance. You have a fair point, but I will say this. He's never been a hands catcher. He's never going to change.
Nope.
At this point in his career, if he were 1, 2, maybe even 3 years in, you might be able to train it into him. It's just not going to be his game. I agree with you. That drives me nuts. It allows the opportunity for what happened yesterday to happen when the defense is, it wasn't a great bait from the defense. He didn't punch it out, but he got enough of it to get loose when you're bobbling it around.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the things, it's one of the traits that we always look for on film of the college kids is who catches with their hands, who snatches, and like Sammy, goes out and gets the ball and brings it to his body. They're going to tell you, though, is when a guy does that, he has all this space right here that he gives up to get hacked and move that ball. So I would still have a guy with strong hands reach for the ball rather than let it get to his body.
Me too. I'll talk about it a lot.
You know the score, Gooch. Sorry, I'll shut up about it. I want to hook you guys up with a jersey for my jersey business. What jersey you guys want? Ryan, Derek Thomas, Stan, Charles, or Holmes? I appreciate that very much. I do
appreciate that.
DT is my favorite Chief of all time, but I'm not much of a jersey guy. So I'd be happy with anything.
See, I'm very much a jersey guy. I've got a couple of them now, but I think if I were to get one, it would be from someone in this specific team. And Creed Humphrey's just like calling my name.
I would love to see you walking around with a Creed Humphrey jersey.
I'll do it too. I'll go down in a Creed Humphrey jersey.
You and Nick Jacobs would be a clan. It'd be awesome. Why the hell, after 16 weeks, is Sorts still in coverage? Have we gone mad? Not we.
Yeah, right.
You know what kind of definition of insanity is, right? It's doing the same thing over again, expecting a different result. It is Groundhog Day. And you're right, Gooch. It's the thing that, you know me, I scream it at the television. My wife rolls her eyes and she's like, you know what? You should make your lights work better. And you should just get used to the fact that they're going to play Sorensen in the back. That's just the way that it's going to go.
Might need some new lights there that keep going out.
It's this one. It's not taking a charge as well as it used to. So here, answer this one and I'll try to correct that.
All right. Thank you for the support, Quentin. We appreciate it very much. Back to Spags being Sutton 2.0 and needing there are for the stunt this weekend. So I don't think that Sutton 2.0 is how you identify Spags. He likes to play with what got him there, and he likes to confuse quarterbacks. And Sutton was more of a, I can't adjust because I don't know how. I don't have the slightest idea how to adjust because I don't know how to play any other way than this. I think Spags can clearly play different ways. I think that he just got in a little over his head. They were doing actually pretty well against Burrow when they pressured him, if I can pull these up really quickly. So Burrow, when he was pressured yesterday, was not a good quarterback. He was he did not grade out very well. But when they blitzed him, he was very good. So they had to get the pressure, and he was trying to create some of that pressure by blitzing, and unfortunately, it was just a little untimely, and it didn't pay off for him.
Yeah, I'm all for pressure and play man.
Yep.
I like that philosophy. But you have to understand your limitations.
Mm-hmm.
In order to blitz and play man, you have to have man corners. They can hold up in contact and let a big receiver like Chase not push you off. He got away with a lot of little pushes.
Yes.
And again, this is another reason why I say he's one of the best receivers in the league now, even though he's only a rookie, because he did all the little things that usually takes veteran status to get away with. And you just have to have guys that can combat that. I mean, that stuff ain't happening to Marcus Peters. Now, Chase will just turn and run away from him. But
I was about to say,
you know what I mean?
Be around the ball.
Exactly. There's skill sets there. And so the big thing for me is you have to identify and you have to understand and you have to stay true to what you are. Yeah. You don't have but one corner that can do that. And even Snead in his second year gives up some of those plays. But you also have to have the guys. The problem is, they do not stunt the linebackers enough in this defense. They'd rather send DBs, which in today's day and age is the wrong strategy.
I agree.
You have Willie Gay. Nick Bolton's a good blitzer. He's not quite fast enough. I don't think he would affect the quarterback as much as Willie, but you got to send them.
I'm willing to send him. I want to see it. I got to see it.
I'm down. Tim, thank you again. That's like the second one. Appreciate it. I looked for a comment, but I didn't see one. Aaron, would you pop me a comment if Tim did ask something and I missed it? Sean Fenton's antics after getting the penalty is very frustrating. It's going to end up costing the team a game. I like the fire, but is it worth it? It is worth it to me.
He was just clapping himself up. I think that he was in position and trying to say, look, you got me there. Like, good job on you for getting the call. But like, I think he's just trying to tell himself that he's okay. And honestly, I'm okay with him clapping instead of doing the whole gun thing he was doing before. So
absolutely. But he needs to pump himself up.
Yeah.
If he lets himself lose any confidence, if he becomes anything passive at all, he'll get destroyed because he cannot run with the faster receivers. He has to be physical. That's his game. So I'd rather see him do that. And quite frankly, Snead and him are the only two physical corners. Ward is not physical enough. He can stay with the receivers, but he does not take the physicality to them. And I don't want to get off on a Ward rant, so I'm going to stop there. Because he does not deserve me getting all out of sorts. And getting more super chats here, you guys. I know we're trying to finish up, but I don't want to leave anybody hanging on that kind of stuff. Hey, lady. Bill's got one here in a second. Donnie's got one. Donnie, how's that couch treating you? Don Crowley, Tyreek's drops are starting to become a problem. He has to make the play at the end of the half. He does. And I'm a little concerned that this is just hangover from back-to-back Super Bowls. He didn't train a whole lot, from what I understand, over the season. I think it's just like the culmination of it. But at the end of the day, your job, especially as a wide receiver, is to catch the ball, period.
Yep, I agree. He's just, and we saw him in the last couple of seasons working with the soccer ball, trying to get his hands in the right position to catch with his hands. But I think in positions like that, he feels more comfortable letting it get to his body, so a corner or a safety can't make a play on the ball. So he just falls into a comfort. It's very uncharacteristic of players to go for the ball like that when they're comfortable doing something else.
Yeah, it's like an instinct. I don't know that you'll ever train it out of him.
Good job.
Night. Did you all figure out the sound problem Big Chief Sean's Eddie? No, it didn't. I didn't get another copy of it. Didn't get any audio in that file. So if we do get around to that and Sean can get me another copy with it, then I'll get it back up for you, Daryl. If not, there's another game next week. So he'll be back. This truly is therapy for yesterday. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, Charlie, I'm glad it helps. We're all going through it together. So if I rant and rave too much, you just let me know.
I'm trying not to. I promise, guys.
Is Josh Gordon blocking? I honestly have no idea. When I've seen him in the ball game, he has been effort blocking. Not always successful, but he has been putting the effort out.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's doing a good job of blocking, actually, better than he is doing anything else.
Okay, fair enough. I just want to make sure I'm not missing like lazy reps or something like that I'm just not seeing. If they put Tyreek Hill in Department Jordan, if they have to, like if it's a game situation, if they have to, yes. But as a matter of course, like everybody else is screwing up, we're going to do that. I would not do it. Like if you're in a wild card game and you're down 3 scores with a minute left, yes, I'm putting Tyreek out there.
Yeah.
Dan doesn't look comfortable.
I don't think so.
Southern Bell, thank you. Mike Linebacker, are we having problems identifying, as in identifying their sets and what they're trying to do? I don't see it as that. What I saw yesterday was lack of intensity to the hole. Lack of confidence in your tackle, and so I didn't see striking through, particularly from the young guys. Hitch actually made one like play-saving play that I didn't think he was capable of yesterday.
I remember that. Yeah,
but I just saw not quite. It's not that they're not recognized. I just felt like they didn't have the full confidence yet in what they were seeing from the Bengals. Now the Bengals went heavy a lot, and I don't think they're used to seeing that too. And you get to this feeling of being constricted because you're not using your athleticism. You have a gap in front of you and you have to attack it. And you have to grow into that sometimes.
Yeah.
Thank you, definitely. Southern. Thank you, Mac. Another one. Gilmore has a 1-year boundary option this season. Yeah. I mean, it depends what that 1 year is. They're having trouble getting Matthew back on a 16 mil deal.
Yeah.
He's probably going to get 19 or 20. And so I don't know if Gilmore's going to play for less than 14.
Yeah,
even on one.
Yeah, you're asking a guy who's trying to get paid one last time to basically take half of what he would in a long-term deal for a 1 year deal for this team, because you got to make things work. So I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think so either. If it does, you have to sell it hard that this is your last chance to win another ring.
Yep.
And that's got to be it. Thanks, Mac. Steve, do we really need to blitz throughout the game? Yes, especially with the ultra good quarterbacks, because they found out that even with Melvin Ingram, even with the front four playing better, they're not consistently getting pressure when they drop back to pass, especially with somebody young like Herbert or Burrow who can effectively run the RPOs as well. They're not the athletes that Mahomes is, although Herbert's better than he gets credit for.
Yeah.
But there's just enough there that it slows down the pass rush. You got to send a fifth. Does it have to be the linebacker? No, but I'd prefer to be a linebacker than a corner or the safety blitz. I'd rather do that.
You got to get that free runner, because Burrow, for example, is one of the best against the blitz anyway, unless you get a free runner on him. If he has that time that you have four guys, even if you're getting pressure, he's going to find the quick outlet. That's what more quarterbacks are doing now, especially even against the Chiefs. They're getting the ball out quicker. So you got to find a way to get that extra man free. So it forces the even quicker decision, which usually results in a bad throw.
Yeah. Donnie, hope you're doing well. It's been a while. How comfortable are you with the right tackle depth going into the playoffs this week? We're questioning it. We're concerned.
Comfort's not the right word for that. I am not comfortable.
It's a lack of comfort is what it is.
That's exactly what it is.
So yeah, thank you for the support, Donnie, and we're with you. They don't have a lot of strikes left. Hopefully this thing with Orlando is quick. And it's a mild strain, and they just didn't want to push it. Again, I feel like the staff is being ultra conservative in terms of the players. And the play, it's rubbing off on the players being a little less aggressive, a little less adamant, because they know they have the playoffs coming.
Yep.
Bill, Bengals offense perfectly illustrates the Chiefs are missing about a dynamic number 3 receiver. Yeah. I mean, I've been hearing this all day, and I heard it all night last night from all the podcasters and all the national voices and blah, 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 blah. As long as you don't let Chase go off, Higgins had a couple of nice plays. Boyd had a nice play. They don't beat you. I'm not that concerned, but I see your point, Bill.
What I think the Bengals offense illustrates is the Chiefs need a legitimate number 2 corner. I'll just say that.
I would prefer 3 number 1s.
And that's not the poke holes in your thing, because I think that talent at wide receiver is definitely needed a little bit more of, but I'm on the other side of that.
And that's the thing, is like we've seen a team go to back-to-back Super Bowls, and now they're going to be a playoff team, and they have a significant chance at making a big run. But there's still a lot of holes and a lot of depth on this roster, and it's pasting it together. And the conversation in the next offseason or 3 is going to become, if the cap doesn't go up, what do you justify in terms of star power outside of Mahomes? Because that's what's going to limit you on talent. It's going to be a tough one. I do agree, though, they do need a third wide receiver, and they need somebody, if nothing else, that Mahomes will throw it to with confidence. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Rip Dillon, glad you made it. Thank you for the support.
Appreciate it.
Late to the party, but with the past success of drafting centers, Morse, Hudson, Creed, do you see Creed staying past his first contract? I can't speak to that, because I don't think there was anything with Morse or Hudson that had anything to do with what goes on in the building. It's not that they didn't like the city. It's not like they didn't like playing for Alex at the time, right? So I think it is about the locker room, about the organization.
I think he's just insinuating that they're good at drafting centers. So do they, instead of trying to pay Creed, who's going to be expensive, maybe look to draft another center? I think that's more of the general direction of the question. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but no, I think Creed Humphrey is going to get paid. He's going to set the center market when he comes up, and he's going to be one of the best, if not the best center in the NFL for a very long time. He's going to be a Chief for a very long time.
Yeah, I don't think because of the success, and I think because it will be, I mean, when Creed comes up, it'll be what? 4 years left on Mahomes' deal.
Yeah.
Andy will be 67. Like they can see the end of all of it from there, and I would think that they would keep the team together there.
I agree.
The center quarterback handoff kind of thing. But thank you for clarifying for me, though, Dan. I appreciate that.
No problem.
Why do the Chiefs want Kelsey at quarterback? Haven't seen this before, and I haven't seen it succeed. They only run him at quarterback when they want to run the Wildcat. They won't let him throw another pass, I guarantee you.
But I hate it.
No. Yeah, I know. And honestly, like
every time I'm like, why?
It's getting to the point now that when Blake Bell is in the game, he's going to line up under center and take that sneak.
You saw it.
So the question now becomes, what's the next wrinkle? Same thing with Kelsey. Kelsey runs that Wildcat out of there. That's the only reason they put him back there. It's the only reason they should put him back there. And you notice this new wrinkle that they did just the other day. They lined him up, but Patrick was behind him 4 or 5 yards, right?
Yep.
So the next thing is
let that ball go to Patrick.
Snap. Well, either snap it straight to him or you let it go to Kelsey. He turns around and flicks it to Patrick.
Yeah.
And then everything's open. And I guarantee you everything will be open when teams key on Kelsey in the backfield.
Yep.
Heck, we might see that this postseason. You don't know. I will not put it past them at all. All right, we're going to wrap up with these two because I know we're way over and kids need to eat and stuff. I think Pringle can be number 2 receiver. I think we both agree with you. Absolutely.
I legitimately think we saw it. We saw it last 2 weeks ago. And then they went back in this game and gave him 4 targets. That can't happen, in my opinion. It cannot happen. It's disservice to their offense.
Well, and that high drag that I mean, he caught literally with his fingernails. That might have been his best catch yet.
Yeah, he's good. He's good. Okay, I'm done with the. Will he step up? He's stepped up. He's good. He's a good number 2 receiver.
Yeah, I like it. And TW, I'm going to end with yours here in a second. But Seth, Dan's got one he really likes. I am right now on Odell's 90 shilling. That's my beer of choice today.
You said you don't like fruit flavors, so that becomes a problem with this one. But it is legitimately Christmas in a can, okay? It is the Holodots from Toppling Goliath, cranberry apple cinnamon lager. It's amazing. I love it. This thing is delicious, and if you don't like apple stuff, I'm sorry, but it's cranberry and it's so good. It's Christmas in a can.
If you don't, it's not for you.
I'm sorry.
Last question, Bill. Thank you. Did the play calling take the game out of Patrick's hands? The play calling itself. No, I didn't think so.
I don't think so.
I felt like they put it too much in his hands. I felt they should have run a little bit more as they started to struggle a little bit, but maybe I'm wrong on that. I don't know.
I don't know. I haven't seen it. I need to watch it back again, and then I have a better idea. But I think that there were times where they put it right in his hands, specifically down there in the goal at the inside the 20. They said go ahead and throw it 3 times instead of trying to run it. So
yeah,
I don't know.
I'm not going to comment on that.
I don't know.
Aaron, thank you. Appreciate it, and appreciate all the work that you do. Gooch, Stevie.
Yes, thank you guys so much.
I don't know if Sean made it or Jeff, but all you guys, appreciate you a ton. Folks, it's a new year. I know this week kind of sucked. We'll get back on track here this next week. Thank you for all the questions and all the conversation. We truly appreciate it. And TW, I absolutely agree with you.
It would be great.
Have a reason.
Great.
I look forward to that. Hopefully that's the way that it works out. Or the Titans just step on it this weekend and foul it all up and Chiefs get the week off. I'll take that as well.
Let's do it.
So the sun has risen. It's going to be all right. Dan will have content for you this week. I'll be back on Thursday with Seth. I have a couple of things I may be able to squeeze in some extra stuff as well. So keep an eye on the channel. Make sure you like and sub and hit the bell and hit all the notifications like on your device or whatever so you get them. A lot of people have been saying lately they haven't been getting the notices. You got to have them enabled on YouTube in general first. Mm-hmm. So if I do get any of those things done, I'll be able to throw those up and you guys won't miss a beat. So thank you. Have a good week. get back to work. I know I'm going back to work tomorrow. Kind of, not really happy about it, but it is what it is. So good luck. Thank you, Chiefs Kingdom. Thank you, Dan. Appreciate you.
Appreciate it. Appreciate you guys. Have a great night.
Night all.